hello everyone.
Hello everyone.
I am Hamidu and I am with Yajiji.
Yes. Tonight
And
we will be the host to commentate the relay race.
and you're going to enjoy our wonderful French accents for the next hour. So I think the race should be starting anytime soon. I'm gonna check what's happening on the race channel. I'm letting them know that everything is set up.
So tonight we will be 8 runners from the community. It will be Team Niger against Team Tofu. Team Niger is composed by iCod, Ultramarine, Back, and Crux, and the Team Tofu is composed of Galaxy, Weather Guy, Bastoon 22, and Shredberg. We don't have the best PB on the community because of numerous reasons, but we have a good average. It's like the longest PB that we have tonight is like 21:32. It's from Shredberg, but Shredberg just has a very few hours on his Steam, so it's like he improved a lot in a short amount of time.
Yes, I'm actually curious to see how he's going to play. So he's going to be the last leg of the Team Tofu and
yeah,
he's been PBing quite a lot recently, so I'm really curious to see how he's playing.
Yeah, I don't know Shredberg as well, so I'm very curious about what he will do tonight.
So it's already starting, and they're already in the 5th level of Forest, and of course it's pretty even for now. So for those people who are not used to watching that kind of race, it should be really close until the later parts of the run, because the start is pretty simple. So there shouldn't be much action before maybe Hospital or Factory, which are the second and third world.
For those people who are not very knowing a lot about Meat Boy, the game itself is composed of 6 worlds. Well, at least 7, but you need to finish the game once to unlock the 7th one. It's all about each world is composed of 10 levels, 10 main levels, and you only need to unlock to finish correctly 17 levels by world to unlock the boss of the area. So during the 90%, we just need to play 17 levels the fast way possible, and we just need to beat the boss to go to the next world.
So right now they're on the path of the forest, first chapter, and it's pretty much tied for now. I mean, that's what we could expect, because iCod and Galaxy, I'm looking at the numbers, and they're supposed to be the fastest runners in the teams. So we can expect them to play quite well. I'm going to watch out for the mistakes and point them out.
Yeah, probably for the beginning, iCod is a little behind when it comes to PB, but for the moment it's very tight race. For the moment it's close during Forest. It probably will be still close during Hospital. The real difference will start probably for the next world. Well, the more you advance during the speedrun, the more it became difficult. So if we see differences between the 2 teams, it will probably be later on the game, during Star Factory, DL, Rapture. Maybe not the end, because the end is very you have a solution to do fastest strat, but it's not the biggest possibility to lose a lot of time.
Yeah. And so who do you think is going to be your favorite for this first leg? Because I know, I think Galaxy on paper is better than iCod as far as PB is concerned, but I think Galaxy hasn't been so active in 90% lately, has he?
We know that Galaxy was doing a lot of races this week with some people like iCod and
Oh,
Mister.
so they've been practicing. Interesting.
Yeah, it's like Galaxy was recently back on tracks because he's used to play a lot of races with Mister and iCod, but he's also playing some Dark Ending with Mate recently. So normally he's one of the people who's warmed up enough for this race.
Yeah, but you know, he's been playing Dark Ending a lot, so I don't know. Maybe he could mix up the strats and stuff. I mean, I've known it to happen for me when I'm playing a category a lot and I turn to something else. Sometimes it's hard. But for
So
now,
Galaxy
it's
is
pretty
probably-
clean, I have to say.
Well, for the moment, it's like Galaxy is a little ahead, but it's like one level difference, so anything could happen.
Especially on Chad. So on Chad, which is the current boss, there is a skip to skip the end of the boss and do it faster, and it's kind of dangerous. And actually, Galaxy missed it, so he's going to have to take it the slow way. And iCod got it, so that should be that should put iCod in the lead for now. That was a pretty clean Chad for him.
Yeah, according to the screen, it's like 4 or 5 second difference now. So it became very close fight now.
Yeah, so they're pretty much tied again after this slight mistake from Galaxy.
So that's a big question about Galaxy because of his mistake about chat skip, maybe we'll try to do some risky strats to catch up, or maybe we'll stay focused on the safe strat just to be sure that he won't do a really bad time in case he missed something.
A pretty tough death for iCod right here. And he dies again. This level looks easy, and in fact it is easy, but it's one of the easiest levels to die on when you're under pressure. So I think, like, seeing iCod die like this a few times on this level, it's I think it shows that he's got a bit under pressure for this relay. And that's going to be a pretty huge lead for Galaxy for now. I'd say
Yeah,
about 20 seconds maybe.
It starts to be a very good lead for Galaxy, and at the same time, it looks like Galaxy is under pressure too because he's doing the levels well, but with some safe strats.
I think that's the way to go, because like after what he did on Chad, like it wasn't a big mistake. He just lost maybe 5 seconds, and then it's easy to lose control and just start doing silly stuff. So I guess taking it safe is the way to go for him right now. Of course, maybe he doesn't know that he's in the lead, but I think he can feel that if he's playing safe and clean, it should be enough for him.
Yeah, it's probably because he missed the chat skip, so I think mentally he knows that he was very maybe behind iCod, so decided to go safe to catch up a little.
And we're now getting to the harder parts of the game. It's going to get more interesting.
Galaxy managed to do the motor skip, so he said himself that he doesn't like this one because he's not very sure about. Sometimes it's like you don't have the precise timing to stick right correctly. So after the auto jump.
And also, Galaxy said in the interviews before the race, Galaxy said that he's been doing lots of no reset runs, and he's very famous for doing lots of no reset runs. So I guess it should help him for the race. He's used to that kind of setting where you have to, you cannot die if you don't know resets.
Well, it looks like for the moment that experience is doing the difference.
Yeah, I would say so.
Did we talk about auto jump and sprint jump or not yet?
Not yet. You can go if you want.
So, if you pay attention, sometimes you can see that the runners are pausing and unpausing for some strange reasons. It's a strat named auto jump. So basically, you hold the jump button. While holding the jump button, you press start to do the pause. And so once you release the jump button, and you unpause, the game will consider that you're jumping at every frame. So this is a glitch of the game that we use a lot on different levels to go on faster strat that we still can do them on the normal way. But using the auto jump makes them like more easier to manipulate and to do.
Yeah, basically it makes stuff safe. I think technically it doesn't save a lot of time on the run, the auto jump. It should be like a matter of seconds, not even 10 seconds. But lots of stuff becomes much easier with auto jump. And I have to say, like, right now we're in Hell, and I think it's my favorite split because like there isn't that many very huge time-saving skips, but like it's really hard to play safe and go fast at the same time. If you want to go fast, you have to take risks. So that's where there's always going to be a big difference between strong players who can keep up under pressure and players who are, choking. And right now I have to say that Galaxy is not choking at all. Like he's been playing really good in this Hell.
Yeah, well, Icot seems still under pressure, so he has still some depth from time to time.
Yes, but I think he's not much further behind than he was before. He's been doing okay. And he's actually trying for some cute stuff.
So Galaxy is already on the boss, which is a Little Horn. It's a difficult, well, it's kind of difficult boss when you play it casually. But once you know the strat, which is all about keeping to stay at the same spot and just jumping 3 times, it's fine.
So Galaxy is a Little Horn, which is, he's just waiting because the bosses in Meat Boy are not really hard as far as speedrunning is concerned. So that's not where you should expect to see any play. It's pretty much free once you know the pattern.
The funny thing is that when we play the game casually and when we play it as a speedrun, we have different approaches. Like when you play casually, for most of the gamer it starts to be very difficult when you play Rapture for the first time. But as a speedrun, I think you can say yourself that ZL is the worst world when it comes to do the fastest strat.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's close between Hell and Rapture, but I would say Hell is the hardest, at least for me. And Icot went into Little Horn, so it means that he's about 1 minute behind Galaxy right now. That's kind of a huge difference for Meat Boy. 1 minute is really hard to catch up, but there's still some RNG coming up for the boss at the end of Rapture, so like it could be decided by RNG too, so it shouldn't give up right now. It's not over.
So Rapture is a well-known world and hated by most of the people because you have these repulsive orbs that are very difficult to manipulate. Depending of the speed when you reach them, you will be pushed away with a different speed. So sometimes it's fine, sometimes you don't have enough amount of speed when you decided to be close to them and you just push in the wrong direction and you die most of the time.
Yeah, and right now I'm kind of confused because Galaxy was just doing 5.8 because as you recall there is no need to do all the levels. You're leading to 17, and he's doing 5-8, which is a level people usually don't do. And usually people who do 5-8 don't do 5-1. But I'm pretty sure I saw him do 5-1 earlier. But maybe I'm wrong. Did you see it?
Yes, he did 5-1. So that means you probably skipped the 5-18, if I remember.
That's kind of a weird route. I'm curious to know why he's doing that. Probably for safety reasons, I guess. But it's not common.
I don't know neither. It's like normally 5-18 is not one of the difficult, the more difficult level on this war. So I don't know.
Yeah, weather guy from the chat let us know that he skipped 5-1, so that makes sense. He probably skipped 5-1 in order to do 5-8 instead, which is much safer and not even much slower. So I think that's a good race strat. I wonder if he's doing that when he's doing runs too, like PB runs. But as far as racing is concerned, I think it's the best way to go for Rapture. And Ica Galaxy is going to enter a Larry very soon, which is the Rapture boss. And so Larry is basically RNG because you can just wait for the boss to kill itself. But the time it's going to take to kill itself is kind of random. It has to jump 3 times into the south, and it's the fact that he jumps or doesn't jump is basically random. So that's basically the only RNG in the game. There's also the red monsters that you can see on Icot's stream. They're also RNG as far as their behavior is concerned, but other than that, the only RNG that you're going to find is Larry. So I think if there is somewhere where the Galaxy can lose his lead, it's right now. If he gets a good Larry, I think it's pretty much he's going to win this first leg. But let's see.
Well, yes, normally it's when you play Rapture the fastest way possible, you do the level 5-1 and you skip the 5-8. Well, you play Rapture from 5-1 to 5-18 and you skip 5-8. That's when we play to do a PB and when we play to do a race. It's probably a different mentality and a different strategy.
Okay, so Galaxy is done with Larry. So he basically confirmed his lead. He still has more than 30 seconds of lead. So I think it's unless he does any very big mistake, he should be doing fine for the end of this first leg, and probably give a lead to his team. And in the meantime, Icod is going into Larry too.
Normally it should be fine for Galaxy. The real question when it comes to play the end, it's like
5-4?
Probably 6-4 and Omega.
Oh yeah, 6-4, sorry.
Depending on the strats you choose to do.
Well, so far it's been very clean for the end and for Galaxy. And Icod got a very good Larry, so that's a tiny bit of time save, because his Larry was better than Galaxy's. It's going to tighten the gap a bit. But for sure it won't be enough unless Galaxy chokes really hard right now. And we're going to see. So on this level, on 6-5, the level where Galaxy is, you can basically skip a key, and it's a bit dangerous, but he managed to do it pretty cleanly, no problem.
Yeah, and Galaxy was fast on the 6-4. Well, we have some monster like Mate or Vorpal who are doing 6-4 a very fast way, faster than most of the people, but it's a very different way to play the level.
And it basically saves 1 second, so I think like, anyone who does that in a race like this would be completely crazy. Which is, of course, Vorpal and Mate are completely crazy, so maybe they would do it, but I wouldn't recommend it.
So now Galaxy just waiting for the boss to come. You will see that the sword will pass on Midboy, but for some reason, because Midboy is standing on the button, you are like protected. Like your hitbox is your Xbox hitbox is out of order. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
not
you're
working.
invincible.
So yeah, you're kind of invincible. So you don't die even if the souls are passing on you.
Okay, I have to say that Galaxy, after the first early mistakes, had a very clean run. I think he can be satisfied with himself on this one. That's definitely a decent race run. And a very clean Omega skip for Icot too. So that's about maybe 1 minute and 30 seconds or 1 minute and 40 seconds lead for Team Tofu right now. That's a kind of a comfortable lead. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Protected, like your hitbox is your
Who is the next
Xbox
player for Team Tofu?
hitbox is
That's Weather Guy, right?
out of order. I don't know.
Yeah, that's Weather Guy. So Weather Guy has a PB of 2025. And he's going to run against Ultramarine, who's got a PB of 2006. So that should be a close match. Actually, both teams are really balanced for this relay.
Yes.
Overall, I mean. And
So now it's supposed to be Weather Guy against Ultramarine, but Weather Guy is well, it's not visible on the stream yet. But Weather Guy has already started his 80%, while Ultramarine is waiting for Icot to finish.
okay.
Normally. That's how the relay race is supposed to work. Once the current player has finished his race, the next one on the team is supposed to start. Unless we have some issues, I don't know.
I think it probably he already started, but probably his stream is not up yet on the relay stream.
Or maybe
just
it will be a completely different relay race because people are just doing some duels.
No, it's okay. He's live. But wait, did he not?
Well,
Did he
it's
not
kinda
take a lot of time to start?
Yeah. Yeah, that is a strange part because Galaxy gave a lot of lead. So
Yes. So
both of them, the fact that both of them are still on the forest is very strange. Normally,
unless
the guys
he-
supposed to be already on the first boss or already reaching hospital.
It's still possible that his video feed has a lot of delay, but probably just Galaxy dropped the. I don't know. Probably he took some time to open his game and start running, I guess. And I guess that's part of the speedrun, right? If you cannot properly launch your game, then you just lose time.
Well, it looks like now it's a little confusing to know exactly which one is in lead. But normally Weather Guy is supposed to be ahead because, as we said, Galaxy gave a lot of lead.
I guess it's plausible that he just took time to start his game.
It probably will be confusing right now, but once the race, once the 90% is done, we'll probably be watching the next players, and so normally we won't have some delays.
Yeah, let's just assume for now that he just didn't start quick enough.
It's unfortunate, but it happens sometimes.
Everything can happen with pressure.
Yeah.
And actually,
But,
right now Martin's ahead.
By the head right now? Okay.
Yeah, Weather Guy just started hospital on the stream.
Both players are very close when we compare their PB because Ultramarine best PB. Ultramarine's PB is 2006, and the Weather Guy has done as PB 2025. So it's not a big difference. So normally we're supposed to have a close race once again.
And not only both teams are quite balanced, but also compared to previous relays, I think this time, even inside each team, all the players are quite balanced. All the PBs are between 18 something and 21 something for the worst one, which is, I mean, 2 minutes on Meat Boy. It looks like a lot, but it's not that much. It's pretty much balanced. All the players.
We talked about auto jump. Maybe we didn't talk yet about sprint jumps.
Okay, I can explain sprint jumps, but probably it's going to be like if you don't play Super Meat Boy as a speedrunner, it's going to be quite hard to see. But it's a small piece of tech where whenever you wall jump, you can, so you have a curve going away from the wall and then coming back to the wall, and you can actually make that curve tighter, closer to the wall, by releasing sprint just before you jump and then sprinting again to go back to the wall faster. So the result of this tech is that every time you wall jump on the same side of a wall, then you're going to save a little bit of time, some frames. And if you do that during the whole run, then you end up saving lots of time. That's a bit of an advanced tech, and actually it doesn't save time unless you really master it pretty well. And probably it's invisible to the eye of someone who doesn't really play the game very seriously. But probably all of these players do it to some extent, quite a lot. It's actually only required in one very precise spot. It's for Larry skip.
Brownie skip.
Help me here. Yes, brownie skip. So if you want to do brownie skip, which is in the Soul Factory for the boss, you can basically skip the whole level. You have to do a sprint jump. So maybe we can come back to this at that moment, at the end of this split.
Well, I guess even if when it comes to play against Chad, most of the people do a sprint jump to be a little faster on the key before the blood race too much. I don't know. I guess people do the sprint jump to get faster on the key.
Wait, which level were you talking about?
When you do the chat skip.
Yes, basically, yeah, that's one point where you want to be fast, but I don't think it's required to sprint jump. Actually, it's kind of hard for me to remember how it was when I didn't use sprint jump. But I don't think it's really required to get fast enough. But of course, it makes it easier for sure. Thinking back about this Larry skip thing, that would be so great if we found something like this.
Like skipping the boss fights, or it's like having
yeah, just skipping Larry altogether.
Or having a 3-cycle constant RNG.
I guess just skipping in altogether would be great.
I don't know, unless we find a really weird strat to manipulate all of the Larrys at the same time. I don't know. Crushing the game.
Oh, kind of a tough death for Weather Guy right now.
Ultramarine chose to be safe and didn't try the monoskip.
But he got sniped just now. Actually, it's This level where he got sniped, it's kind of tough. Like, you don't get sniped that much, but when you're under pressure, it's harder to react in time, and it gets easier to get sniped. So just pay attention to Larry. If you played the game before, then you Larry, sorry, Brownie. So if you played the game before, you know that you have to race with Brownie through the whole level, and you'll see that all the players, they just go from the outside of the level to the right, and you can actually just skip everything and go directly to the top. So that's what Ultramarine was doing just now. It saves about 10 to 15 seconds, I think. I'm not even sure the exact amount. It's one of the biggest saves in the game.
I think it's around 40 seconds, but I'm not sure about it.
40 seconds? No, that's not. I don't believe you.
Okay, alright.
But then again, I never timed it really, because it saves so much time that just, everyone does it without thinking.
Yeah, it saves a lot of time, and even if you fail to do the Brownie skip for the first time, it's still faster than doing it the normal way.
And we're back to hell again.
Yeah.
Did we even get out of it? I'm not even sure.
It's like we have a lot of swords, and the hitbox on the lava is very strange because it's the hitbox coded on the game for the lava, and what we see with your eyes is kind of different. So sometimes you have the impression that you're not touching the lava, but you can die because actually the hitbox considers that you touch it and you die.
Actually, I'm quite impressed with Martin. He's actually not been playing for a very long time. I don't know. He has close to he has something like 100 hours on the game. So that I think his level of play is pretty impressive compared to the time he's been speedrunning this game.
Actually, I don't know because I didn't take time to watch a lot Ultramarine speedrun the game.
Well, me neither, but obviously here he's doing a good job. I mean, of course, Weather Guy took a bit of a lead in the... Wait, is he even ahead?
Ultramarine is, according to the screen, Ultramarine is ahead, but...
That's really impressive, because like earlier Weather Guy had like 10 to 20 seconds of a lead, and then Ultramarine caught up pretty well, and he's basically... Oh,
well, it's like
I'm not even sure I've seen anyone play like that after 100 hours on the game.
Well, both players are like it's close race. At the beginning, Galaxy gave a lot of lead, but now it's a very close one. And both runners are fighting the most as they can, and the difference between them is not very increasing. It's like one is ahead, and sometimes the one is catching up, like little by little. But it's like 2 or 3 levels different, and it didn't change since hospital.
Yeah, exactly. It's been very tight during this this whole second leg. Both on Little Horde and pretty much tied, so I'm really curious to know if like, I would like to know the reason why Weather Guy took so much time to start his race. I'm very curious about it. I'm going to ask him afterwards, so that we know what happened. And Ultramarine enters first capture. Actually doing 5-1. So you were saying earlier that... I mean, we were saying, I don't remember if was you, O'Neill. We were saying that doing 5-1 is less safe than doing 5-8. I don't know if Martin is aware of it, but he just did 5-1 like perfectly. So I guess he just got balls.
Well, sometimes people don't like the fast strat we need to do on 5-1, and sometimes we are tricked a little by the flash. Yeah, we didn't speak about it, but for some reason, when you didn't take time to watch the cutscene once we beat the boss Little Horn, and we completely decide to rush to the Rapture World, you still have the flash from the cutscene, which is taking priority before the level, and so we can start the level 5-1, but we have the flash from the earlier level, which was Little Horn, and so for some people it could be a little disturbing.
Just for some people, like it's pretty hard to do the level because of that. I mean, you could just wait for the flash to disappear, but then it wouldn't save any time to do the level if you do that. So if you really want to save those seconds, you need to just play the start of the level blindly. There's no choice. So that's basically why I'm saying that 5-8 is safer.
And because of the flash, the beginning of the strat on 5-1, you're supposed, because of the flash, to do a blind jump, and you need to react fast once the flash is done.
And this time I'm not crazy, but Martin did 5-1 and 5-8, so he's doing a weird route, I'm pretty sure.
So that means he probably won't do 5-18. But what about?
I guess he's going to skip the last level.
What about 5-17?
We'll see. And Weather Guy 2 actually. Is it some new trend?
Yeah, both are doing 5-8, which is most of the time skipped for top players. It's like we said, it's playing the game, playing Rapture from 5-1 to 5-18, and we just skip the level 5-8. Well, not normally, but on the fastest strategy we skip 5-8, and so we play a 5-18 instead. But both players choose to play 5-8, so we'll see.
And Martin is kind of struggling right now. He's been losing time on the last few levels, and I guess it makes sense because, like, when you don't have that much experience, probably the places where you can make mistakes are probably Hell and Rapture, because there's lots of lots of places where it's not that hard, but you kind of need experience to, because there are lots of ways you can make mistakes.
This is one of the issues when you speedrun the game. It's like when you try to be not perfect but satisfied in the best way possible. Most of the time you reset what you know the most, which are basically the first world, because this is first of all most of the time the easiest world that you have on the game. Most of the time. It's not always the case, but so we tend to reset a lot the first levels and the first world, but in fact when we do that we don't practice a lot the last worlds because of the reset, and so when you have a good pace, sometimes you arrive to the last world that you didn't practice enough, and so it starts to be a real pressure.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's why I would recommend, if you're out there and you want to practice a game and you're patient, then probably a good idea would be to just start practicing the last levels before you start practicing the first. Practicing the end of the game is very important when you want to speedrun, because most of the time games are platforming games are much harder at the end than at the start. But it makes sense that you have to practice the difficult parts more. But it's so tempting, you know, to just keep doing the early stages and try to go faster and faster. But yeah,
That's
one has to be
probably
patient.
That's probably one of the reasons why people choose to do some no reset runs, so they are sure to train everything during the practice, even if it means to you know, like from the beginning that you made a mistake, so you won't do a PB, but at least you can practice the whole run.
Yeah, exactly. And that's actually Galaxy is a good example of this. He actually started playing the game and he just always did lots of no reset runs, and he actually improved very fast. So I think it's a good strategy.
Well, it looks like Metalguard didn't have a good Larry, so Ultramarine won some lead. Well,
Yeah.
he already
He's quite a
had
bit
the
ahead
lead,
right now. Yes.
but it increased because of Larry.
Oh, and a pretty tough death on 5-4 for Martin.
Yeah, 5-4 is one of these levels when you don't have the timing, it's very punishing.
Yeah, they've both been kind of struggling since the start of Rapture, but it's still kind of close. Martin has a comfortable lead, but it's not anything that cannot be recovered yet for the Team Tofu.
Well, I guess now it's too early to say that because there are just like one level difference now, according to the stream. I don't know about delays. It depends if...
Yes.
Okay. At this time it could have been like really punishing if Marlin failed to do the keyless strat on Omega, but he managed to do it the first try, so it's fine.
Yeah, that was basically his last very big tough point where he could have failed and managed to do it. So I think he's just have to play safe for the last boss, and I think he can be pretty satisfied with his run.
Marlin failed to do the strat
yeah, I
on
think
Fetus.
I just jinxed him. I have to apologize. But actually, you know, it's not. Oh shit, he died. Yeah, it's actually it's not that big of a time loss if you don't get ahead of the stars. But it makes the level much harder to do, especially since you always get in front of the stars on the boss. It makes the level very easy, and you never practice it the normal way. So whenever you miss it, you have to do it the normal way. It becomes really hard, and that's why he died. I think he just no one practices this way of doing the boss.
Well, first of all, it's not a very big, very difficult strat, so when it happens, you're really surprised, and after that, you need to deal with the surprise when you're not used for a long time to play Fetus the normal way.
And that's
so it's one of the mistakes that can be very disturbing when it happens.
Yeah, also very costly because it's somewhere in the vicinity of 20 seconds lost because of that. So this is kind of a relief for Team Tofu because now it's getting much closer. If other guy manages to do the escape deathless, then it should be still pretty close.
But if both streams are accurate... Oh.
I should just stop speaking because every time I say something they just die. Okay. Is it my fault? Should I feel guilty?
Well, in fact, it's like now that Ultramarine plays the most he can, and because of Weather Guy, for some reason that we don't know, took time to launch the game and start to play. It's like the very big difference between iCode and Galaxy at the beginning almost disappeared during the second part of the relay race.
So apparently Weather Guy just didn't notice that that Galaxy was done after his run, so that's why he took some time to start his own run.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's
Well, so that's why the relay is a different exercise. You know, the relay race like this, it's very different from a regular race because you have more things to think about. Of course, it doesn't seem that much to think about saying that you're done when you're done and then starting when the other says they're done. But actually, it adds some another layer of pressure when you run, and it's actually something that is not negligible. And sometimes it can lead to mistakes. Sometimes it can lead to time losses, like here.
So now let's go to the next part, which is back against Bastoon 22.
And this race is still very much alive. It's like there is still no clear winner that is appearing. Still very close. I think I would root for Watch Your Back because he's been playing a lot lately. Apparently, I mean that's my impression. I haven't been following that much, but I'm under the impression he's been playing. So I'm kind of expecting him to have a good run.
Back is a very old player on the Meat Boy. Not very regular player, but he was here when the game was not expanding, but he was already on the community when people started to be very interested about expanding the knowledge of Niger to the 106%, which happened like 3-4 years ago now. I'm not sure about that. I remember that Bag decided to go to The End is Nigh. He played a lot the game and started to speedrun it, and now he's at least he has come back a little to be prepared for the race.
And actually, Martin from the previous leg is also a very good The End is Nigh player. So you know the community has lots of players in the race.
For the moment, Back and Bastoon are doing well. You have a difference between them, but it's because of what happened on the what happened earlier between Weather Guy and Ultramarine.
Yeah, the play is pretty clean, apart from a small death by Bastoon just now. But other than that, it's okay so far for them.
Well, most of the time, the difference will stay the same during Forest and Hospital, unless one runner is doing a big mistake. Most of the time, during the 80%, because of the difficulty of the game itself, it starts to change when we start to play Star Factory.
So for those who just entered the stream just now, this is a relay race. So there are 4 players per team, and they're all going to do an 80% run of Super Meat Boy. And every time one runner is done, the next is going to start his run. And for now, there has already been 2 runs for each team, and it's still pretty close. And this is the 3rd leg of the relay. Actually, I just saw Watch Your Back had a pretty tough death on Chad, but he's quite a bit ahead, so it shouldn't be too much of a concern for now.
Well, it was very surprising because most of the time when we are facing Chad, we have some troubles to get the key quickly, but it's very uncommon to have a death because we have a problem by dealing with the jump right after getting the key with auto jump strat. Normally,
Yes.
it's not supposed to fail. Well, sometimes you still have some exceptions.
Yes, I guess. I mean, Super Meat Boy is a tough game. You can once you're used to the game, it's there are lots of places. Lots of places are not so dangerous, but when you're under pressure, it's easy to die anywhere basically. Really, because there are so much danger all the time on this game.
Now we're going back to Star Factory, and we have like a 4-level differences between Back and Bastion. It's not, so it's not a very tough difference. It's like Back can do like 2 or 3 mistakes, and it could be enough to Bastion to catch up.
Yes, especially since he did quite a few already. So, I mean, he's right now he's in a spot where he needs to, you know, kind of deal with the nerfs. Probably after dying 1 or 2 times, you can have the nerfs kick in a bit. And I think it's a kind of point where you need to just play safe and, you know, not die anymore, so that you can recover your mojo.
Well, usually it's like we are humans after all, so most of the time when we start to die once, it could be the beginning of a vortex. Because just one death could be enough to lose the rhythm of the game, and so we can lose an entire pace because of that.
Yes, especially in Meat Boy. I think it's because the precision you need in the movement. I don't know how to describe that, but in Meat Boy, like the changes of direction from your input, they can happen basically every frame. Unlike other games where the granularity, if I can say, is a bit higher. So since everything is so precise in Meat Boy, as soon as you get confused a bit, or as soon as your environment changes, or as soon as you get nervous, you have slight differences in the way you input your directions and your jumps, and it's enough to get everything messed up and to start dying and start being less precise. In other games, I think it's easier to recover, but in Meat Boy, it's pretty tough. There's no room for that kind of mistakes where you jump too late or you just turn too late.
It reminds me that people tend to compare speedrun with music. It's like people are playing the instruments little by little, repeating moves and notes until it works perfectly. And so when it's time, when you're supposed to do your performance, you're supposed to do a perfect music.
Mhm.
But at the first false note, your music starts to go wrong, and it starts to crumble because it's not the way it's supposed to be, and you can destroy everything after that.
And as you were speaking, I just saw back to a very clean hex skip, which is one of the hardest skip in the game. I mean, it shows that even though he was having trouble in the earlier chapters, I think he just pulled himself together, and you know, if he's able to put that off so cleanly, I think it means he's just saying, I can handle my nerves. Stop talking about me like I'm stressed out or something. I can do it. I can play well, and he's showing that right now.
Yeah, according to what he did on the hex skip, it shows that it's not an issue about skill, but a more issue about focus and concentration and keeping them during the entire race.
Yes, exactly. That's one of these. To perform hex skip, you need to do a very precise tap jump, and the point is to tap your jump key very quickly. And you cannot do that if you're shaky, or you know, if you're not in total control of yourself. So if he can do that, it means he's not nervous right now. Right now, I think he's very calm. That's probably experience speaking.
Yeah, it's a very specific jump when you don't want at any cost to go up when you do the jump. Instead, you will just hit the wall and die on the X key.
So for now, basically the gap between the two teams is it hasn't changed much. It's still quite a bit of a lead for Team Niger.
No, it looked like the back was really losing focus during the Star Factory, but what we saw is that his way to do the L was very clean.
Yes, he's been playing very cleanly since the start of Hell, basically, and the end of Soul Factory.
Now that I think about it, it's like Meat Boy is a very old game now. Like 5 months ago, the game was celebrating its 7th anniversary.
Oh, I would have thought it was more actually.
Oh, the game was according to Steam, the game was released in November 2010.
Yeah, it sounds right. It must be something like that. So yeah, it's starting to get old. You're right, but
Yeah.
it's still pretty popular. I'm still seeing new players coming in the community, and new runners. So I guess it's getting old, but it's not getting dead. I mean, it's a good game. That's not surprising.
Well, the game used to be very popular, and now it could seem less popular than when it used to be. But you still have some people coming from nowhere and deciding to try to play any percent. So years after years, we still have some people discovering the game and meeting the community to know a lot about the skips and other strategy to repeat little by little until they're able to play the game fast. So we don't have a lot of active runners if we just see the numbers, but we still have some people that are quitting the game and finally coming back. We still have new players coming, whatever the year.
That's right. I wish we would have more. I wish we had more of 106 players, because any percent really always has players. But there are times where you have lots of competition in 106%, and sometimes like right now where you basically have no one playing it seriously.
I guess Mate is expecting someone to start the competition, and well, just a player that are willing to play seriously 106%. But Mate is a current world record from Finland, puts the top very high.
Yes, I can say it's a tough run to beat, of course. But I would recommend playing 106%. If anyone is out there and is looking for something to do that is epic and satisfying, just play 106% on Meat Boy. It's a great endeavor.
Well, most of the time for technical platformers like Meat Boy, when you play difficult categories, which take a lot of time to practice and to play as a speedrun, it's like for most of the players, even the top players, 106% takes at least 2 hours. Sometimes it could be less, but we don't have a lot of it. We don't have too much people being able to play the game 106% under the 2 hours.
Yeah, I think for a new player it would be more like 3 hours. I remember my earlier 106% runs were around 3 hours, and I already had practiced a lot. So I guess yeah, it's not easy to, like, there's a high cost if you want to start playing it. but the reward is great.
Yeah, it's a kind of game that when we go for the full completion, it's very nerve cracking. But at the end, when you are able to do a PB or to finish 106% for the first time, the feelings we have when we are able to do it is very satisfying.
And right now the gap between Team Naija and Team Tofu is getting wider. So I think unless there is some big thing happening, like a really bad Larry for a team, or some player choking really hard, it looks like a hard lead to catch up to. I think Team Naija is looking really good right now.
Looks like
Although Larry is falling a bit.
Back looks like he's starting to have a bad Larry.
It was decent. It was like
not that
eight or 9 cycles maybe. That's more than average, but it's still something you can play with. It's okay. I think it's still like more than 45 seconds of lead. That's a big deal. It's a big lead. At this point, there are just 2 runners left after this one. It's going to be the final leg next. I would like to be in the final leg and start with 45 seconds of advance.
The final match will be Crux against the Shredder. So, because of the delay, because Team Naija is still ahead, maybe Shredberg will be on a little pressure to maybe being able to do something to catch up the difference of time.
Yes, maybe that's not the kind of spot where you want to be when you're a new runner on the game, and like have that big of a responsibility to catch up. It's not easy. I think it's a big challenge for him.
On a relay race like this, the places I don't want to be is probably the first one and the last one, because the first one is the precious one, a very important one, because you're just giving the rip to your team. So when you fail the first performance, it could be affecting the morale of the rest of your team. So it's very important to not fail the first one, and the last one you just carry the fate of your team.
Yes, I guess I don't know. It must be hard to, if you're the last one and you have 1 minute to catch up to. I think even if you cannot be blamed, right? If you cannot just just catch up to 1 minute by yourself. But still, I think you would feel like a bit responsible for it, even if it's just the team, and it's not just your role, just to do it all yourself. But it's hard to help feeling responsible for it.
So Back is waiting for Fetus, while Bastoon is finishing the 5-4. He's about to try the keyless strat on Omega.
Oh, and a very shaky death for Back at the end of Escape, which is it's a usual death. This one it's
he
normal,
tries a
but
leap of
still
faith.
very costly. Yeah, he didn't even. I don't think he went for it. He just hit a saw here. But I guess whichever strat you do at this spot, it's very easy to get hit by a saw and just die. And it's kind of costly because it's about 15 seconds lost every time. So he died twice, so that's like 30 seconds he just lost. But fortunately, the lead is pretty huge. They're still about 1 minute and 10 seconds ahead. So I think Crux can start running with a light heart, but well, 1 minute and 10 seconds is not something you.
I
It's
don't
possible.
know.
It's already possible to lose it just on Larry. To be honest, 1 minute and 10 seconds. It would be very unlucky, but it's not impossible.
Well, the thing is that we know Crux, and most of the time, even if it's a race, is playing a lot, like taking a lot of risk, like X skip on other strat like this. So maybe he will try to play the good game, like the show.
Yes, especially since he's got such a big lead, he could be tempted to just go for it, and try to show off. So it can happen fast, if like couple mistakes, you lose 30 seconds and then get a bad Larry, and then the youngster just comes behind you and just plays perfectly because he's so motivated for his first race, and then, it can happen fast.
Bastoon died once on the escape.
Alright, so we're getting to the last leg, which is Crux for Team Naija, who's a quite experienced player now. He's quite old in the community, and he's running against Shredberg, who's kind of a new face, who's been playing a lot recently, and he's got a few PB in the last 2 weeks. So I guess he's very warm and trending right now. So I'm kind of expecting him to play quite well, and I can't help rooting for him. He's coming here with that big lead for the other team, and he's able to catch up. And he's playing against more experienced players, so he's got like a really big challenge coming up right now. So I'm going to hope for the best for him.
I think to my side right now, whatever the result of the game, I will be cheering both players because Crux will probably play the swag strats. And I'm very curious about Shred because he was able to reach his actual PB, which is 21:32 in a short amount of time, meaning that he has less than 100 hours on Mobile according to his team. So it's very like a fast start to speedrun the game.
Yes. And also on a side note, Crux announced that he would be doing double wickets in the chat during the other races. So I'm going to be watching for it. The double wickets is one of the hardest skips in the game, and it takes place in Hell, so the 4th chapter. So it's not been for quite some time. And just before I was talking about hex skip being one of the hardest skips in the game, and the Rickets is just coming right after hex skip, and it's supposed to be even harder, I have to say, and it's never been seen in a world record, so it's that kind of a hard strat.
For people who don't know Crux, he has a bad habit to jump over Bondage Girl and miss some levels like that because it's like just overestimating the amount of speed and jump that he's doing, and most of the time he's jumping over Bondage Girl and just dying miserably.
And Shredberg does well so far, considering.
That is part of the show.
Oh yes.
But because of Crux death, the gap has decreased a little. It will still be complicated for Shredberg to catch up, but let's see what will happen on the last worlds of the game.
Yeah, I honestly think it's not possible to catch up on sheer skills, but like a combination of the run of his life and Crux showing off too much and dying, and a bad Larry for Crux, it's still not impossible. But I don't see it happening without the help of Larry, our best friend.
It could be issues with Larry, it could be issues with double wickets, it could be issues with X-Skip. It could be a lot of stuff in the way of Kukrux if he's going to do the show for every levels.
Well, so far he's been doing slight mistakes, but no major mistakes showing that maybe he would be nervous about being in such a good shape with his team. So I guess I think he must be pretty confident going into this. I mean, he knows he's better theoretically than the other player. He knows he's got such a huge lead. I mean, even if he shows off, I think he can be pretty confident even if he dies once or twice.
Well, Kukrux is one of those runners that are completely chill with the game. It's like it's not about doing PB and practice every day. It's like just according to his mood, if he's willing to play the game or not. And if not, he is able to stop the game during weeks, months. And suddenly, when the mood is back, he's able to play the game and suddenly do some PBs. This is what he is.
One of those guys. I'm always impressed by those guys who can just, stop playing a game for quite some time and come back and it looks like they're never rusty somehow. I don't know how it's possible. I'm so jealous.
Why? Because you are one of these competitive players that are always reaching for the top and the rage that comes with him.
No, not the rage, but like regardless of the level or the skill you have, not everyone is equal as far as rustiness is concerned. Some players are very rusty when they don't play, and some are not. Anyway, I think Kukrux is one of these guys who doesn't really know Rust. Of course, everyone knows Rust, but not in a big way.
Oh,
he just missed yes, bonus skip. So he tried a second time, but he messed up the setup, so he just decided to abort the skip and just go for the safe one.
Yeah, because
So
monoskip has a fast strat, but it requires that you're able to be very fast before the platform appear on the right part of the level. Because if it's not the case, it's like the platform will completely block your way to do the fast strat to finish the level. So you need to have a very precise move to be able to do the fast strat on the mono skip.
And a very good brownie skip for Kukrux. I've seen quite a few players in this relay having trouble with brownie skip, but for Kukrux it was first try. But he died on mono, and he also died on Grundle, which is the other big skip in Salt Factory. So for now he's playing okay, but doing some mistakes. And he's going to get into Hex for the next level, so I think we can expect him to try Hex skip. I'm wondering if he's going to try.
Probably will try Hex skip, and he will try to double wickets for the show.
So the point is to skip this moving platform, and he just did it perfectly. That was a really clean Hex skip. Very impressive. And so this is the 4-7, and he's getting into Rickets 4-7. And he tried to do the skip, so the skip is to jump in between the saws instead of waiting for them to get out of the way. And you need to do it 2 times for the 2 sets of saws. So it's pretty tough because the window is really small to do it. And he's actually really going for it. He wants to. It's obvious that he wants to do the show because he tried like 3 or 4 times to do it, but he didn't succeed.
Yeah, it's a very difficult one because you have 2 parts on this level, and the thing that the first part of the level is complicated because you have a very close space between the two souls to do your jump. And once you did the first part, you need to have to come across the same tight space between the two souls to do the right part and reach Banagio. So this is a very frustrating skip on the game because you can be able to do the first jump perfectly and miss the second one, so the entire strat became useless.
Exactly. And another reason why it's so hard is because like lots of skip rely on doing one precise jump and jumping at a very precise time. But this one is not so much about jumping at the right time than changing directions at the right time, which is and releasing your jump button. Because in Meat Boy, when you jump, you're going to go up, and then as soon as you release the jump button, you're going to start falling down. So the moment you release the button is very important. And in Rickets, it's not so much the time when you start pressing the button than the time when you release it, which is a very different skill to have, and it can be much harder.
Oh, we didn't talk about it, but I think most of the players agree with that. That one of the very important parts of the game, whenever we play the game casual or as a speedrun, it's the soundtrack. Because basically, when you are willing to play casually on the 1/6% and when you play the game a lot as a speedrun, music has a very important part because we will just basically as a speedrun reset a lot. So when you don't like the soundtrack of the game, you can become really crazy when you reset a lot of the game and you don't love the soundtrack.
And as you were speaking, Crookrux is actually having I don't know what he's doing, honestly. He was obviously showing off with trying to play with the monsters, but he actually lost a lot of time there. And that, added to all the mistakes he made before, he's actually not in such a big lead right now. It's what, like maybe 10 or 15 seconds tops? So now we can say that this race is alive again. And I'm not sure how aware Crookrux is of how much he lost here. Because obviously he knows
because if both players are doing well the Rapture parts, Larry could be the one which will decide of the winner now. What do you think?
I don't know, I think Crookrux actually, I think he went too far. I think he lost too much time here. Like if he was playing against someone experienced, it would be dangerous. But here, he's the experienced player, and they're getting into Rapture, which is one of the worlds where experience shows up the most. So I guess he's still okay, but he needs to be very careful now. He must stop having stupid deaths like he just had before, and like he's having right now. He must get it together and play safely. I think if he does, if he doesn't crack up and if he plays safely, he's going to be okay. But right now he's actually falling behind. So he needs to get it together right now. He wants to.
So you're saying that to go fast, he needs to play safe.
Exactly, because if he doesn't die, he's going to play faster than Fredberg. He's more experienced. The way he's going to lose it is if he dies. But maybe he just already lost it because he fell quite far behind actually.
Oh no, it's like during the 5-1, he completely lost the rhythm of the game, so he died a lot on it.
Yes, and I wonder at which point, because obviously at the start he was trying to show off and do some fancy stuff for the public. I wonder at which point he decided to be serious and start trying. really hard because he must know now. Now he must know that he might not be in the lead. I wonder when did he start really trying the best he can.
Well, as we can see now, Krukuk's game has started to be really unprecise. So you can see that he's missing a lot of not usual things, but even if normally if he plays the game very safely, he's not supposed to miss that much strats to
Yes,
finish
exactly.
these levels.
And now the death, it's not because he's trying, you know, fancy stuff. It's just like it shows that he's actually having trouble. So it's
like-
still a
it's
close
like for
race,
some-
but yeah.
For some reason, even if he played the game like very peacefully, he has lost some precision. So normally, saws that you're not supposed to hit suddenly leads him to death for no reason.
Yeah, my guess is that he realized that he made too many mistakes just having fun, and now he's like thinking, well, now I have to actually play well. I cannot do mistakes now. And then, you know, it's actually harder to play well when you're really trying than when you're not trying in that kind of situation.
Well, now I can say for sure that Larry will be the final twist of this race.
Yes, because right now they're basically even. So Larry is going to be a very important factor now.
It could be Larry, and it could be if Krukux is able to recover from his mistakes, his experience could do the difference at the end.
That's for sure. At the same time, Shredberg is showing that, you know, he's a really good upcoming player. His run has been pretty clean, because we've been talking a lot of Krukux, how like, the mistakes he's been making, but it's also because Shredberg is not doing many mistakes, right? He's not playing very fast, obviously. He's taking safe routes and is not doing any crazy stuff, but he's not making that many mistakes, and that's pretty impressive for a new player like him, especially in a race setting where everything becomes harder under pressure.
So now it's all about Larry. And
And
Larry
Shredberg.
went first for Shredberg.
Oh, and that was a very good Larry, but Krukux too actually. So it's still very tight, and it's
It's
going to be
completely
decided
close
by the
now.
play on the end. It is so close right now.
But yeah, we have completely two different way of speedrunning the game right now, because Krukux started to play the 20% by doing the show, taking some risk to show some strats, when Shredberg is currently playing the game with the goal of losing the less time possible for the team.
But you know, I think in that kind of situation, 6-1 is one of the hardest levels for the spot where Shredberg is right now, and he managed 6-1 very cleanly. So I'm thinking Shredberg is in a really good spot right now, and Krukux even died on 6-1. So my guess here is that Shredberg is really going for it, and if he's able to do a 6-4 safely, I mean 6-5 safely, sorry, I think he's got it. I think he can do it.
The other question is if Shredberg is able to do a keyless strat, or it could be a difference between him and Krukux.
Yes, but you know, like the difference between
If
them right
Krukux
now,
is able
it's more
to do
than that.
it for the first time.
Yes, and also I think if Shredberg, of course he doesn't know that he's in a lead right now, but like keyless is actually a dangerous strat, right? So if he was really, if he really wanted to play safe, oh, and he just actually took a really tough death as I was speaking, and Krukux got back in the lead because of that. Oh damn, that is so intense.
But Quick is still keeping his lack of precision, even at the end of the game.
So I think Schwedberg right now, I think his best call would be not to go for keyless and just, take the safe way. It loses like 3 or 4 seconds, but I think it's the way to go and just hope for, and that's what he does. He just takes the key. I think that's a good call.
He chose to go for the key, and it looks like he's completely handling the strat when it comes to take the key instead of doing the level without.
Yes, I think it's a good call because at this point it's not about 3 seconds, it's about how many times you die. So as long as he doesn't die, he should be okay. But Crocux is in the lead, so the only way Schwedberg can win now is if Crocux dies. That's for sure.
Well, on a pressure like this, the wise solution most of the time is to play the game with the strats you are the most comfortable with, to be sure that you will last the less time possible.
That's right.
Sorry.
Okay, so Crocux is starting the escape. He just needs not to die.
Oh.
He seems to be taking it a bit
stopped a little, so... Oh. Still fine to do the leap of faith.
And that was clean, and so Crocux takes it for Team Naija, who wins this relay by not a big margin. Like Schwedberg is finishing the escape and just finishes like maybe 15 seconds or 20 seconds behind, which is a very close margin for a 4-person relay. It's very impressive how tight this race was.
Well, it's my first time commentating the relay race, and I never saw a relay race that became a complete roller coaster. Because at the beginning, Team Tofu had a big lead. Then things started to be more difficult for both of the teams, and finally, Team Naija won.
Yeah, that was something. So in the end, like they were in the lead, and they just managed to keep it in the end. But that was so unsafe, I have to say. That was so unsafe.
And the race itself became very tighter than when it was at the beginning.
Exactly. But well, seeing how bad he played on Rapture and how many deaths he had, I think he did a good job in the end, because he could have choked really hard after that many chokes. He could have choked much harder. So that was impressive. And at the same time, Schwedberg too played really well.
Oh, Schwedberg, yeah, he played really well for the first time, and well, carrying all the pressure from the team. If he was expecting to the victory.
And I'm not sure he knows how close he was to winning this race. Probably he doesn't even know yet, probably.
Yeah, Schwedberg choose to play the most play the level like in the most safety way possible, and he did a good job in this way.
All right, that was intense. So in the end, it's actually the team who had the best PB by 5 seconds. I mean, the sum of PBs of the team was 5 seconds faster than the other one, so it makes sense that they were about 10 or 15 seconds ahead at the end, right?
So, like we said, that we are not a big number of active runners, but we still are active still. So, if by any chance people are interested about starting a game, we have still runners that are ready to help anyone who wants to start to play the game as a speedrun. We have some good written guides done by the community. So if anyone wants to start the game, we can easily do some advices about doing some pieces of advice about how to start, the strat you can play at the beginning, and how to get more and more serious and reaching some low times. So if people are willing to start the speedrun, they are completely welcome.
Yeah, so there are good resources on speedrun.com and on the Discord too. Midboy Discord. There's lots of people willing to help for newcomers. All right, so have there been any feedback from the players so far? Apparently, Shredberg was quite happy with his run. And I think he can be. He was a very good run.
Yeah, he did really good for the first time.
All right, so I think I'm going to leave it here unless.
Oh no, it's like it depends of our host, depending on the schedule. But I'm the same as you. I don't know what to say now.
Okay, I think I'm just going to. There is nothing happening anymore, so I think I'm just going to go offline. And yeah, it's been a pleasure to see these runs. I think the level of play was really impressive compared to, the overall level they had. They really had good times compared to their respective PBs. And I know it's hard in that kind of relay. I've been doing it before. I know it's really hard to play under pressure in a game like Midboy, and they've all been doing a really great job. So that was really a pleasure to watch. So thank you, Yash,
so
for being with me.
Oh no! Thank you, thank you for being my wingman in the race. So thanks to the viewer. I hope everyone has, in a way, enjoyed the relay race. Thanks to all of the attendees, both teams, Team Naija and Team Tofu.
Yes, and
thanks to iCode and Magic Mister who organized this relay race.
Yes, and also Speed Gaming, of course, for hosting this. And it's always a pleasure with a really helpful team, and it's really nice to be able to show this to everyone. Thanks to them, that's really nice. All right, so
and I hope
thanks
we
everyone
will see you back on the next relay race.
Yes, sure. It's happening on a regular basis, so don't hesitate to tune up again.
It's not the first, it won't be the last. So stay tuned.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.